Hey guys, today we are going to make wax melts and also wax embeds. In a previous video of my wax melt with the frosting, I was asking if you guys wanted to see how I did the wax melts because I didn't show how I did the melts. I just did the frosting. So today I'm using a wax from candlesandSupplies.com. I will put their link in the information. This one is a single pour votive pillar hybrid blend wax. This is a soy and vegetable or paraffin and vegetable wax. If I don't use this wax, I usually would use the one from Rustic Essentials, and that's the para soy wax tart blend, and they both have a good hot and cold. What you're going to need is a mold. This is what I'm going to use as my cupcake kind of mold. I'm going to make some coffee embeds, and I may make some of these little round wafer things. You will need a thermometer, a cup to melt your wax in, a smaller cup. This is what I'm using for my embeds. This is what I'm going to use for the cupcake. You need some plastic spoons. You need some colorant. I use my color blocks from candlewick.com. You're also going to need your fragrance, and I'm going to be using espresso latte from candlewick.com, and I'm also going to be using milk chocolate. Milk chocolate is one of my favorites. This chocolate is like one of the best chocolates in the sense that I have come across. I haven't come across a better chocolate yet, but this one is so good. And what I'm going to do is if I'm making a big batch, I usually melt it in on top of the stove, a double boiler method, but I am going to just be making a small batch for you guys. So what I'm going to do is melt it in a microwave. So with all of that said, let's begin. Trying to get this to clear up. I forgot to mention this is a 10-pound bag, and I got this 10-pound bag. I wish this clears up. Okay, I got this 10-pound bag for $20.90, and looking on the website, it is still a 10-pound bag for $20.99. So this is what I have. When I go back probably tomorrow, I'm going to get the bigger one so that we can get some wax melts in. And this is Candles and Supplies. Okay, so first we are going to start with making some embeds. So we're going to just take some of this wax and pour it in the bowl. We don't need much. 464 to me does not work because it does not come out of the molds really nice and clean. So I really do not use 464 to make my embeds, nor do I make them for my the base of my wax melts. I use 464 for candles and frosting. I don't use it for the bottom. For the sake of this video, I am going to use a gold color. That's this color. I'm going to use a gold color first and put it in here, and I'm going to make and then I'm going to use brown. I'm going to use brown and make the coffee beans. Alright, so we are going to color the wax. And these are just the color blocks. Trying to get that in the shot. And we're not checking the temperature here for to add the color. We just want the wax to be melted. This is just going into the silicone mold, so we're not adding any fragrance, so we don't have to worry about that. I'm probably going to add a little bit more color. We're going to mix that in. Just fill it up. And that's that for that, because this is just for the video purpose. So we are going to I can add some more wax into here. Yeah, because I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing with this yet. So I'll just do the 2. I'm going to add a little bit more wax to this and melt that down and make the coffee bean. We're going to add some wax to that. Melt this down and come back with some brown wax. Okay, so let's just take this, mix it all together. And we're going to, after this mixes down, we're going to take some of the brown. And we want it to be like a nice deep brown, like an actual coffee bean. And we're going to add this brown. And this is a color block again from Candlewick. And since I want it to be like a deep, rich brown, I'm going to add a lot. Well, 2 scrapes to test the brown. Let's see what we get. So we're going to let that dry down a little bit. Okay, so this is the color. Chocolate bean color. And so we're just going to move the mold in to the shots. And we're just going to fill this up with coffee beans. Oh, I'm making a mess. All of the creatives are messy. That's that. And we're going to set that to the side. And what we are going to do here, let's pour this a little bit somewhere. And now I'm just going to take, while this is still warm, I'm just going to take a paper towel and wipe this off so I do not pour wax down my sink. This will make it easier to clean. Also better for your septic. And it's easier to do this while the wax is still warm because it wipes right off as opposed to trying to scrape everything off. To scrape off the wax off your surface, just let it harden. Don't try to wipe it while it's wet. Let it harden up. Get a card, something sturdy, and just scrape it up, and then you wipe it off with a hot towel. So you scrape it and then you wipe it with a hot towel and all your wax is gone. We're measuring out our wax for the melt itself. And I'm going to use a 1/2 pound. This particular wax says that you can use 1.5 ounces of fragrance per pound. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use the maximum that I can. So I'm going to make a 1/2 pound of wax. So I'm going to use 0.75 of fragrance oil. Okay, so we have 8 ounces here. I'm going to melt this down. The instruction on the website says to heat the wax up until, heat the wax to 200 degrees. My wax is at 196 and I'm going to add the color. Oh, I wanted to do gold, right? So I'm gonna do a gold base and I'm gonna let it cool down a little bit more, probably at 10 more degrees before I put the fragrance in. And I measured out my fragrance oils. I put less coffee than I did chocolate because I like the coffee is very overpowering, and if I put it evenly, the coffee would have took over the chocolate, and I want the chocolate to come through. So I did more chocolate than and less coffee. We are at 185 and I'm going to add my fragrance. This is 0.75 ounces of oil. We're going to add this in and we're going to stir this for about a minute or so. Oh my God, it smells so good. Alright. We are nicely incorporated, so I think we are going to pour at $170. I found that when you are pouring your wax melts, to me it doesn't matter at what temperature you pour your wax, because they still come out nice. And you don't have to worry about it adhering to a glass or, you know, a container or something like that, because it takes the shape of this and it pops right out. You want it to be clean and crisp, so I stick with the hybrid or the Parasoy. Okay, so as you can see, we got a lot out of that. So for half a pound, we have 11. And we're going to let these cool, and then I'm going to go to the Embeds and pop these out and show you how nice and clean they pop. Alright, so we're just going to pop these out. Look at the definition. Dang it. Alright, there we go. There we go. Alright, look at the definition on that. If you would have did this with the 464, you wouldn't have gotten this. It probably wouldn't have popped out so clean. So this is my wax of choice for melts. This is my wax of choice for embeds, because it's so clean. And when I use the 464 and the Pillar Blend, which I'm going to do another video showing you what else can you use if you cannot get the Pillar Blend, because it's discontinued. I'm trying a bunch of different things myself, so I will let you know what works best. And there you go. In this video, I will not be piping frosting on the coffee. We'll probably do this in the next video, but there you go. Pop out the coffee beans. Alright, there's the coffee bean. And so we're going to pop those out. And the overpour, you can melt that right back down and put it in some more of your coffee beans or whatever you choose to use. That's brown or brownish. It doesn't have a scent, so you're good. So here are your coffee beans. Okay, before your wax sets too much, as you can see, it's starting to set up. You want to wipe this out. Alright, so we're just going to, what is that? I got chocolate on there. We're just going to unmold these, and you will see that they will pop right out without leaving any residue inside. It's still warm. I could have stayed in there a little longer. But this is it. This is how you make, well, this is how I make my wax melts